on which Nellie you're talking about. A few of Mother's characters were created from compilations of her acquaintances. The Nellie depicted in my books was really three different people. Nellie Owens, Genevieve Masters, and Stella Gilbert. I combined them all to create the infamous Miss Nellie Olson. You see, although there are a lot of facts about her, there are a lot of facts about her life in her books, they're really just autobiographical fiction.
Fiction? So they're made up?
No, not in the least. But nevertheless, in order to create the best story possible, she would sometimes rearrange the order of events, change a name here and there, and even occasionally add a fictional character to her cast of real-life friends and family members. Only if it enhances the story. All I have told is true, but it is not the whole truth. Although my books are based on real-life experience, they aren't exactly excerpts taken from my journal. Some call it literary license.
Mother never set out to be a historian.
Every life has moments that merit repeating. It is in the choosing of what to remember and what we'd be better off forgetting that gets folks into trouble.
That must have been exciting. Imagine seeing an ox like dangling through your ceiling.
But think of the poor ox. He couldn't tell he wandered onto the grass growing on top of the dugout. One minute he was grazing on the prairie, and the next he had fallen through the roof.
Poor creature.
I can imagine living in such squalor. An entire family living in one room and only bathing once a week.
Certainly gave a body something to look forward to. Oh, she's just playing hard to do. Let's see fine weather we've been having this summer, Miss Olson.
Indeed.
Care for a stroll, Miss Olson?
Why,
use the map. Whew, it's a hot one today. Mrs. set some zucchini along. Looks like we'll have a bumper crop.
Thank you, Albert. There's nothing better than fresh fruity vegetables in the garden. Won't you come and sit down?
Would you like a glass of ice water? Yes, thank you.
There are quite a few letters to route today. One young lady asked why I started writing.
That is a good question. Well,
I suppose my interest in writing began when my school teacher, Mrs. Reed, shared a beautiful poem about a vast expanse of endless grass.
These are the gardens of the desert, these the unshorn fields, boundless and beautiful, for which the speech of England has no name. The prairies, I behold them for the first, and my heart swells with the mighty sight takes in the encircling vastness. Lo, they stretch out airy oceans far away, as if the ocean in his gentlest swell stood still, with all his rounded billows fixed and motionless forever.
Her words ignited my imagination and confirmed my conviction that beauty is indeed found in the eye of the beholder.
The sun sank lower and lower until, looking like a ball of pulsing liquid light, it sank gloriously in clouds of crimson and silver. Cold purple shadows rose in the east, crept slowly around the horizon, then gathered above in depth on depth of darkness, from which the stars swung low and bright.
There's a fascination in writing. The word set itself an interesting study. It is incredible the difference one word rather than another will make, until you find the word with just the right shade of meaning, just the right color for the picture you are painting in words. Have you ever thought that words are like color? For example, what color do you think icy is?
I don't know, blue?
I'd say white, silvery sort. And anger?
That's easy. Red.
Or purple? And what about laughter?
Yellow. Ice yellow.
Me too. Here's a tricky one. Ticklish.
You got me on that one.
It doesn't have to be just one color. Of course not. We all see things differently.
And I say polka dots.
Pink ones on a green background. I love words. The only bothersome thing about them is the spelling.
And there's a vibrancy in words because you love what you wrote about.
I did love what I wrote about. The true way to live is to enjoy every moment as it passes. And surely it is in the beautiful things the beauty of life lies. suppose my power of observation has been strengthened when I learned to see out loud for my sister Mary who lost her sight. My words illustrated her world, and so I learned to pay attention. I remember one night driving by train with Ma, Mary, and baby Carrie. Everything was so new and exciting, and Mary couldn't see any of it. And so I learned to pay attention to the brocade pattern on the rugs, the red velvet cushions, the horizon rushing past the windows, and the telephone poles flashing past in the ever-increasing smoke. I wanted to share it all with Mary. Have you ever tried to see something for someone else? Try it. What do you see, hear, and feel right now?
I see a chair and a writing desk, some letters, and a glass.
What about you, Rose?
I see a petite yet stately wooden desk covered with the correspondence of the day, some letters sewn up. Well, I see, seated in a well-shaped crimson wood chair, a sweet, mature woman who, despite weathering the storms of life, continued to bring smiles to many.
That's my girl. Our vision is so much more than what is before us. There are so many ways of saying things, and so many ways of seeing them.
How do you do, Sil? Well done. See that? She was smitten for words. By G, she's a goner. That's one way of saying it. There is a charm I can't explain about a girl I see. My heart beats fast as she walks past in a dark dress driven green. Her eyes are bright and deep, beams are so lovely and so shy. And folks all stop and look around whenever she goes by. Oh, I'm as happy as a big sunflower that nods and bends in the breezes, and my heart is as light as the wind that blows the leaves from all the trees. As time went past and we became like friends of olden times, I thought the question I would pop and ask her to be mine. The answer I received next day, how could she treat me so? Instead of being mine for life, she simply answered no. Oh, I'm as happy as a big sunflower that nods and bends in the breezes, and my heart is as light as the wind that blows the leaves from all the trees. I went next day, I'll dress my best, this young girl for to see, to ask her if she would explain why she had shaken me. She really said she felt quite bad to cause me such distress. Aww. And when I asked her to be mine, of course she answered yes. Oh, I'm as happy as a big sunflower that nods and bends in the breezes, and my heart is as light as a wind that blows the leaves from all the trees.
Over the years, matters of the heart may not have changed, but the rest certainly has.
Laura's day was a time for horses and buggies.
Crops to plant.
And hoop skirts.
Her nearest neighbor could be miles away.
And yet, neighbors depended on each other. Laura entertained herself with handicrafts such as sewing, knitting, and playing with her doll. Her only doll.
When we'd get together with friends, we'd play a game of checkers, or Kitty wants a quarter.
A call between friends meant an actual physical visit.
Of course, there were letters. Receiving a hand-addressed note was wonderful. Mail was never junk. Every letter was important.
We would personally deliver handmade formal invitations for gatherings and parties.
We added friends by sharing our calling cards printed with our names. Laura wrote all of her manuscripts by hand.
Imagine writing an entire book only using paper, pen, and ink.
Rose, have you seen the envelopes? I need to get this letter addressed before Albert arrives. Here you are. Wasn't it scary living in a house in the big woods in Wisconsin, where the nearest neighbor was miles away? I wouldn't say scary. I think exciting is a better way to put it.
One winter, when Laura was 5 years old, I'd gone to town to trade for supplies, leaving Mom, Mary, Gary, and Laura alone at home to take care of the animals and do the chores.
It was a freezing cold winter night when Laura and I went out to milk our cow, Suki.
The lantern glimmered as they walked quietly over the glistening snow.
When they reached the stable yard, they started seeing Suki's ground back over them.
Any smart animal would have been in the warm shelter of the barn on such a freezing night.
Until they had slapped the big ground back that Suki was smart. They were the fools.
There, into the stable.
Imagine Monica when she scooped up Laura and made his house.
Inside with the heavy door bolted, laughing and trembling, Mom saying,
To think, I slept a bear! How old were you when this was taken? I suppose I was 16 years old. I felt so old then. Who are you sending it to, though? One young lady asked about the fashions of my day, and as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Fashion was every bit as important to us as it is today. Keeping up with the latest style in the ladies' magazine was paramount to maintaining one's social status.
new clothes for singles girls, picking out the old copper fabric at the general store, taking it home and making a pattern, sewing it, and then wearing it, day in and day out.
A fortunate girl may have had 4 or even 5 dresses, and only a very fortunate girl could afford a store-bought dress.
We had to live with what we got. There was no excess and no getting rid of a dress when we were tired of until we outgrew it or literally wore it out.
Even then, it didn't just go away. A dress would be reduced and remade into smaller articles of clothing such as bonnets or children's things.
When those got frayed and thin, they would be cut up into little pieces for quilts and blankets or dolls.
Like the kind Mom made for Laura!
We knew that value for value, nothing went to waste. Even scraps of materials soon, worn for any other purpose, would be charred and then used as tinder to light fires.
You folks may think you started the recycling business, but truly, nobody does it better than we did.